Hello, here to talk about the follow up to my morning toast. As I promised, it was something I did it for 30 days straight, the end of November till December. And what I would do is I would ask people uh, they what change they'd like to see in their community, in the city, and in the world, and what that change would look like. Brought some really insightful discovery into areas that never occurred to me. Met some super interesting people and created opportunities from nothing for others and myself. This was great. And big thanks to the Socialite Conference and Teresa, who was one of the main founders of that conference. I really highly recommend for anyone to go. It's coming up in November again here in Toronto. Um, the structure of the morning toast, if some of you have seen it or not, I would meet with someone that I'd either know or a complete stranger that I didn't know. I'd sit down and ask them what difference they or what change they'd like to see in the city of Toronto, in their community. It could be any community, not the one that they work in. It could be their gym, social club, whatever they do. And then the last one was the world and what change I'd like to see in the world. Some of the results that I got, especially on the level of community, was really across the board. A predominant one was that people wanted to connect with one another on a personal level, not on the cell phone level, and that kept showing up. Most of the conversation, even outside of the 30 days, I didn't have just 30 conversations. I was having with lots of people, and this one came up often. In the city of Toronto, a great discussion. I had great discussions about urban planning, about housing, and of course transportation. And it was not easy uh, when I asked people what change would look like. For me personally, urban planning is a huge one, and seeing how we can make a difference and giving back to areas that we build and live in. Thinking green roofs, making solar panel a normal thing, really building something sustainable that future generations can work with. In the world, predominantly, one was what about peace, and what that would look like was something as simple as more compassion, people carrying out with more compassion in their daily ways of being, and more complex is creating equal access to education across the world. For myself, what I'd like to see is I'd love to see a world without borders, without nationalism, and having us all be one. What this would look like is implementing a 100-year plan. What we work towards with in blocks of 5 years, whatever that would look like, and we implement slow change towards that 100 years of the end product of creating just one world and no more borders and no more I am this religion, I am from this country, etc. So um, this will be my first video on YouTube. My intention is to share my creation source, which is inspiration, and then along the way my experience and the growth along the way. So what I will ask often is how I can learn from you. What is the most important project that you're working on, and how can I add value to it with my networks? What would you like to be acknowledged for is the last one. Share your thoughts and your feedback, and ask you to subscribe and share and turn your magic on. Have a wicked day.